Play pass. Oh, picked up on Henley. Twists him. Man top. Henry's got it to the end zone. Touchdown, New England.
It took a couple tries on our intro, but I think we got that one, Rob. I think we got it good.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, you weren't used to having to hit buttons after we just hit play on Sunday, and then 9.5 hours later, we were still going.
Yeah. It was in case you guys aren't too aware of what Rob's talking about. Me and Rob did a wild card round marathon where we stayed up and live recorded every single game and our live reactions. And you can watch that video if you got 10 hours in you. Watching me, Rob, Stefan, and Deshaun breaking down some videos. And boy, it was a lot of fun, Rob. Very tiring, but a lot of fun, don't you think?
It was a ton of fun. If we do something like that again in the future, we need a slightly deeper bench so we can rotate off a little bit. But it was a ton of fun. I mean, we were going to watch all the games anyways. We might as well chat with the people in our Chatsville. So,
of course, and a big shout out to the Northeast crowd, the Rhode Island crowd, and then Tony, as always, shows up. And I know he was giving you a hard time, Rob, but at the end of the day, you won the battle there because the
it's always
won, and he did a good job trolling you.
Oh, yeah. No, I love the back and forth with Tony. Tony's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. It's always all in good fun both ways. He can give it. He can take it. And I love his gimmick of every 10 to 15 minutes updating his score prediction for the final score.
He's going to get it right at some point. At some point, he always gets the score right. It takes him 50 tries. That's his game plan there.
Yep.
So, hey, Rob, so I got another Super Bowl playoff game to play, and I want to just see how well you do here. I actually struggled at this one, so I'm just curious how you're going to do, but seemed to be a big hit on TikTok and YouTube, so we're going to do it one more time, okay? So,
let's do it.
The fun fact of this game is going to be the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles have the record for the most go for it on fourth down and win the Super Bowl. Okay, they did it 27 times last year, and that's by far the highest amount any team has ever gone for it on fourth down. Okay, right now, there are 3 teams that are above them that are still in the playoffs. 3 teams that have gone for it more than the Philadelphia Eagles that are in the playoffs. Can you name
3 out of the 8?
Can you name those 3 teams?
All right, let's see. Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills, number 1 left. They had 32 attempts in the regular season.
All right, so I need 2 more. LA Rams.
LA Rams, number 2, 30 attempts in the regular season.
All right. I was very confident in those 2.
I know.
Less confident in this one.
I'm excited about this.
Seattle
3 for 3.
Seahawks.
Oh, no, they did not. They did not do it. I'll give you a hint. It's going to be on the NFC side.
It is an NFC team, though.
It is an NFC team.
So, Niners?
Not the Niners, which I think is leaving the last
Only one
team.
option. The Bears?
Yes, the Bears.
Yeah, I would have had them as my last guess. I would have guessed a lot of teams before. I would have guessed the other 5 teams that I had chosen before them. But I've watched the Bears the least this year out of what's left.
Ben Johnson. Oh, yeah. Although they're an exciting, each game has been an exciting matchup each time they played because they always keep the games close. But yes, the Chicago Bears had 29 attempts. Jacksonville Jaguars had 29 attempts, but they're out of the playoffs. And here's a fun one. The Carolina Panthers by far had the most going into the playoffs, 40 attempts. And I know you're wondering, your New England Patriots have done 25 attempts. Your New England Patriots have done 25. So they're too short, from the record. But Buffalo Bills, Los Angeles Rams, and Chicago Bears are the ones that are the most aggressive, and they go for it the most. So we'll see how it pans out and see if they can break the record.
And had I thought about it just a little bit, Bears make sense because Ben Johnson was on the Lions before he came to Chicago. So
yeah, and he went for it a lot of controversial calls, going for it on his own 30 at one point at 4th and 4 for the Bears, which wild game. We're going to be talking about that and more. And of course, Rob, your New England Patriots moving on to the division round.
Yes, they are. It was a lot of fun to watch. It might not have seemed like that too much in the second half for those of you that were in the live stream, but we were tired. But I was stoked. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was a great. So let's go ahead and kick off the playoff preview. And we are here. The wild card is done, and we are moving on to the division round. But a lot of football was to be had, and we're going to be breaking down each and every game. And the first game was the Los Angeles Rams against the Carolina Panthers, where the Rams won 34-31. Deshaun, who's in our pick'em lead, and we'll show the pick'em points a little later, picked the Carolina Panthers to win this game. The Carolina Panthers were the underdog by 10 points according to Vegas, and boy, Deshaun almost pulled it off, but at the end of the day, it was us that were right, and the Rams ended up getting the big win over there.
Yeah, we ultimately got the pick right because I did not think the Rams were going to falter to the Panthers twice, even in Carolina twice. The weather definitely helped Carolina. They're more used to it. But ultimately, the deeper team, the better team won. But Carolina shouldn't be hanging their heads. They got a lot to be proud about, a lot to build upon. And that fourth quarter really set the stage for the entire weekend.
Yeah, it did. It was an exciting wild card round. We've got plenty of exciting football that happened immediately after. The Rams came in there doing what they do best, and that's having a strong offense. Matthew Stafford went 24 for 42 for 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Puka Nacua was responsible for 10 of those receptions, and got 111 yards and 2 total touchdowns. Another big name that came out of this is Jalen Coker, who was the not McMillan for the Carolina Panthers, who ended up getting 9 receptions for 134 yards, 1 touchdown, alluding to the fact that Bryce Young had a relatively good game overall, 50% passing, but outside of that, threw for over 200 yards and balled out to keep him in this game. Chuba Hubbard, 46 yards rushing and only did get 2 touchdowns. But going into this game, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I think we all expected the Rams to go ahead and have an offensive powerhouse like they did in this game. And the fact that they scored 34 points is a good indicator that they did that part of the job fine. The big thing that a lot of people were scared of was the fact that the Carolina Panthers had the, what was it, 27th ranked offense in scoring, something like that, bottom half of the league. And they were able to keep up with them. And Bryce Young had a hell of a game out there. But the Rams did exactly what they wanted to do on the defensive side. They shut down the run. Chuba Hubbard was not too effective. And they got the game to be put into Bryce Young's hands. And Bryce Young, he went tit for tat with them and was able to keep up. Rams, obviously a big victory. They're going to move on to the division round. They're definitely the juggernaut that a lot of people are afraid of because they have a high-powered offense and a pretty good defense. But big concern that was coming out of the Rams game was the fact that Matthew Stafford he didn't break his finger. We don't know what happened. They're not telling us too much information. But Matthew Stafford,
they'll keep it minimal until the playoffs are over.
I'm hearing it's something to do with the strain or something like that. It's really hard to tell with these things. Stafford says he's ready to go. Heading into the next matchup, I mean, if you were a Rams fan, Rob, would you be concerned with this Stafford finger, especially for the fact that it's his throwing hand?
No, because even if it's shattered, he's got all week to practice with it taped up and throwing, and he's Matthew Stafford, so he'll be fine. Plus the depth on this team, not just at receiver, but even at running back, at offensive line, the Rams are going to be okay. He's going to have to score some points, but I think they've got a full week to, especially because they're playing Saturday to Saturday. So they got a full week. That's enough time to make the adjustments, figure out pain management. Okay, can we get the right combination of pain pills just to get you through the game, and then figure it out again at the end of the game. So it's just a finger. It's just a flesh wound, right? He'll be fine.
Yeah, and he's going to be a very important piece. But like you said, they got weapons. They got Puka Nacua. They've got Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams. They're a really good team set up, and by far, I think the strongest offense in the playoffs that are left. They look really good and have a lot of firepower. So that'll be an interesting preview for their next matchup. I believe they have, I don't know why it just slipped my mind. LA Rams are playing the Chicago Bears. That's right, the Chicago Bears, and I think that should be a really entertaining matchup. On the Carolina Panthers front, go ahead, Rob.
Keep going.
I was just saying on the Carolina Panthers front, I know you have been really high on the Carolina Panthers for a retooling year and possible better future up ahead. They've got a lot of work to do, I think, especially finishing 8-9 and having a little bit of a stinker towards the end of the season. But putting up a fight like this, I mean, against what a lot of people are deeming probably the favorite to win the Super Bowl, do you think the Carolina Panthers can improve dramatically heading into the 2026 season? And if so, where do you think some of their improvements can be?
Yeah, for sure. I certainly think they can. I don't. If the Atlanta Falcons make the right coaching hire, and that coach actually utilizes his players that he has on his team, the Falcons should be the favorite to win that division next year still. But that doesn't mean the Panthers shouldn't be a playoff team. And I think they'll be a playoff team with a winning record next year if they keep taking the right steps. First off, I'm shocked you hadn't heard of Jalen Coker. Do you not constantly watch and follow the mighty powerhouse that is Holy Cross football?
I guess not. Yeah, not enough. I need to do that more.
But I mean, he must have absolutely balled out at the FCS level because he didn't get drafted, but he was signed as an undrafted free agent. So he can play, and if he went to Holy Cross, that also means he's really smart. So he's able to, because you got to be smart to go there. So he's able to learn, he's able to develop, and he stepped up because the Rams made clear McMillan wasn't going to beat them, but they held him in check. So Coker said, "Cool, I'm fast. I can catch. I can do it all." So when you look at the Panthers, they have the weapons. I know Rico Dowdle kind of was a little bit sour at the end of the game, and he said the fact that he didn't get a lot of carries compared to Chuba was going to affect free agency. And it's like, dude, this team's been giving you everything. If you had stayed in Dallas, you would not have gotten the reps, even though he should have. He would not have gotten the reps that he got in Carolina. So if he's smart, he stays. But if he goes, okay. Panthers need running back depth, whether he stays or goes, because Chuba's getting older, and Chuba is not really an every down back. Um, Rico can be that, but he's still going to need someone for relief. So, like looking at the Panthers, they've got solid receivers. If they could get a depth piece, awesome. Get a good depth piece, third or fourth, besides McMillan and Coker, because NFL defenses they're going to make McMillan work for it next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bryce Young's great. They picked up his 5th-year option, but they haven't given him a big extension. I don't expect them to. I think they're going to want to see him play it out because then that gives them the time to, because you got to pick up the 5th-year option before the 4th year. So they've got a couple of years to see what happens. And if he balls out, he'll get a very nice extension. And I think people love to poo-poo him because he wasn't perfect right out of the gate. Guys, Peyton Manning went 1-15 his first year in the league. Like, just because you drafted number 1 overall does not mean you're going to immediately take the league over. We want that. We're very impatient, but it's a new level. He had to grow. He had to develop. He had to learn. He had to get solid coaches. He's got a great coaching staff now. I expect him to continue to take those steps. But if I'm the Panthers, I'm really bulking up. I got to find a running back, but my priority is probably bulking up the offensive and defensive lines, getting whatever you can depth-wise on defense, and then find yourself a running back, find yourself another wide receiver, and run it back next year.
Yeah, and I think they've got, like you said, the weapons with McMillan and the fact that Coker had such a performance. He can clearly play on the big stage, and he's going to be a great weapon going forward. Chuba Hubbard, of course, is doing really well again, and I know the injuries might start piling up, but let's see if he can pull off another big year. I think he's got at least a couple more years in him, so they should be in good shape there. The thing about Bryce Young is Bryce Young had a slow start in Alabama, and then he ended up becoming the Bryce Young number 1 overall pick. So the fact that he had a bad rookie season wasn't too shocking. He had to learn the speed, and I think he's going to get there. He's getting better each and every year. And if you know anything about Bryce Young, that man is a workhorse who goes out to the gym, works really hard, studies film, and tries to improve on all the little areas that he could possibly improve. Very Saban-esque kind of player too. So I think we're going to see mass improvements from Bryce Young. He's going to be a top tier quarterback at some point and later in his career. I'd keep an eye on him. He'd probably be a top 10, top 5 quarterback towards the end of his career. And I think that's going to be a big benefit. On the defensive side, Jackson and God, I don't know what Horn. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Jackson and Horn on the secondary side looks really good, especially Jackson in the first half. I know Horn had an overall great game, but then Jackson started getting cooked later on because covering people like Puka and Devontae, you're going to end up losing at some point. But overall, their secondary looks really good, and the only issue that I saw was the fact that their defensive line just looked relatively small against the Rams. If you beef up that defensive line, I think this team is going to be one of the top tier defenses in the league because they got the hard part figured out. That's the secondary. If they can work on that defensive line actually becoming a powerhouse, I would say Carolina Panthers are going to have a hell of a future for them for sure.
Yeah. I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl next year, but I think they should be good enough to get in the playoffs and win a game. And if the Falcons keep falconing, then yeah, they can win. But that division could be sneaky good next year. The Saints came on strong at the end of the year. They seem to have their quarterback in Tyler Shuck. They have their head coach now. Atlanta's got all the talent in the world. They just need someone to put it together and make it function. And then you've got the Panthers. So that's pretty good. And I'm leaving a team out that's started the year real good.
Yeah, as long as Baker Mayfield doesn't get hurt, I think they're a really good team. But with whatever injuries that he was having in this year, he ended up being out of contention.
Right.
But that's a really good point. This NFC South right now is kind of the joke of the league right now. But next year, you better watch out because, yeah, it happens all the time in the NFL for sure. So that's the Carolina Panthers and the Rams, and we're going to break down more on the projections of the Rams heading into the previews, but we'll just move on to the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears, which
Wow.
I picked the Bears. It was.
I did too, but and I mean this Bears team all season long. Again, I haven't watched a ton of them, but I still read up on every single game all the time. If I didn't watch it, I've read up on it. I've learned about it. I love the NFL, and the Bears really, if you could just, they don't need 3 quarters. Just tell them, hey, okay, it's the second half, or hey, it's fourth quarter. This is it. Play that. The rest of it, they whatever. They, oh my goodness, they are such a slow starting team. They really need time to develop. But luckily for them, their offense is good enough that they can catch back up as long as the defense can stay hot once it's given up its fair share of points.
Yeah.
Wow, this team is another team. It's young, it's developing. I think they have the right quarterback, but my goodness. Oh, and they definitely have the right head coach. But wow.
Yeah, Ben Johnson's phenomenal now. He got a lot of flack for going for it on fourth down a lot, and especially the first half. But when Rob was saying they started off slow, they started off real slow. It was 21-3 heading into halftime. They improved the margin by the fourth quarter to 21-6. So they were able to get 3 more points off the board. And then the fireworks show started as they scored 25 points in the fourth quarter and were able to beat the Packers and slow down Jordan Love on that game. I'll just run through the stats real quick. So Caleb Williams had an impressive, weird tale of two hats. He had 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions, a fumble. He was very frustrating to watch, and I'll talk about him a little later. Jordan Love, the exact opposite. He overall just had a really good game. 323 yards, 4 touchdowns, and I'll tell you one thing.
Only sacked once.
Yeah, and that is attributed to, I think the biggest concern with the Chicago Bears is they just don't have much of a defensive line, and I think it did show early in the game. Jordan Love to Dobbs was a great matchup. They were just, anytime he needed a big play, he seemed to be going to Dobbs, and a lot of people are criticizing Jordan Love just in general, but you cannot put this on Jordan Love when you throw 4 touchdowns and 323 yards. Didn't get much more help outside of that.
Granted, when you look at some of these stats here, when you look at the target share, Dobbs had 11 targets. Matthew Golden, the second leading receiver, only had 5. And he had Jaden Reed and Christian Watson each had 7, which means Reed had 4 passes, 3 passes sent to him that didn't end up caught. Watson had 4, whether they were drops or incompletes. And those two, like Jaden Reed, I don't get why he seems to keep getting chances. He doesn't seem to be very good. And then you look at the Packers overall, and they finally do give one of their quarterbacks a weapon. They never gave Favre a weapon. Rodgers famously, they never drafted someone for him in the first round. They finally get Matthew Golden, who, oh my goodness, I thought Matthew Golden was going to do what Ted McMillan did this year. Mm-hmm. And they just buried him. He very rarely got chances. He finally gets some chances this week, and 4 for 5, 84 yards, and a beautiful touchdown. So Green Bay, give him a chance and get rid of Reed. Probably get rid of Watson. You need to find some new weapons, but they've got a good coach in LaFleur. LaFleur's staying. He's getting an extension. That's good, but the Packers were kind of their own worst enemy there.
Yeah, and blowing that lead as big as they did, it was really frustrating. I'm going to go back to the Caleb Williams thing because I know you saw my text messages on that and what I was thinking about. And boy, I didn't watch too much Caleb Williams. The only big game that I really watched of him was when he torched the Dallas Cowboys and when they played the Chicago Bears. And whatever, on that defense, everyone looks like Joe Montana. So, it's not a really good assessment on where's Caleb Williams at right now. And boy, in the first quarter, when he was pouting crying, yelling, just making a scene out there for his whole entire staff. I was getting frustrated with them because I picked them. I wanted them to win, and I'm like, dude, get out of your own way because you can fix this. Okay, you can fix this. You just need to calm down, re-rack, and then go out there and play. And he was like that for all 3 quarters until he went Caleb freaking Williams and reminded the world what he was capable of. That guy can throw passes on the move that I think only like 3 other quarterbacks can hit in the NFL. They are dimes that he's throwing out there, arcing it over linebackers, zipping it when he has to zip it. He's got amazing touch, amazing arm strength. He's deadly accurate. If he can get that game honed in and maybe get out of his own way, this isn't just Caleb Williams, just part of the Chicago Bears. This guy can be the man, not just for the Bears, but for the NFL. He's got that much talent. And God, he was so frustrating, but boy, he's fun to watch too. He is extremely exciting out there.
Here's the thing. Caleb Williams clearly has very high expectations of himself. Caleb and his players and his team. He expects we need to go out. We can do it in practice. We need to go out and do it in the game. I know we can do it. I know I can do it. So, yeah, he was letting his frustration show, sure. But you know what? He's an athlete. Athletes get pissy. It's not their fault that in this day and age of internet reactions, networks tell their cameras to like constantly be zooming in on the star players. We didn't get that in the early 2000s. We didn't get that in the 90s. Could you imagine, like, I know this is a different sport, but Michael Jordan constantly having cameras zooming in on him every time he was mad at his teammates? And that being shown everywhere, then being made memes, and people like it's a different era, it's a different world, but humans are still human. They're gonna get mad, they're gonna get upset, they have high expectations. He's being paid a lot of money to be perfect, and he's trying. Honestly, I think we're sitting on a couch. I don't think we have any right to tell him, knock it off, put a smile on your face, and just play ball.
Yeah, but
we don't let him get pissy, and clearly it works for them.
Yeah, and it worked definitely at the end, so I'm not going to argue too much on that part. But I will say this look, I'm not saying put a smile on his face. I didn't say that. I'm just saying, hey, buddy.
I wasn't quoting you. I was not quoting you. I was simply stating that if you go on X or whatever you want to call it, or any social media thing, and you look in those poisonous comments, that's the running thing is knock it off, be perfect, shut up. You're getting paid a lot. No. Well, they're humans. They're young. He's what, 24 maybe?
Yeah, he's really young. But
come on.
My argument is you got to, like, the team is looking at you for hope. You're Caleb Williams. You're the one running the offense. And I just thought that was not a good attitude to show to the team, that you're just pouting, looking up to the sky saying, what can I do? What should I do? Or complaining.
I didn't see it that way. I saw him letting it out, and so he could focus on things.
Yeah, but
so what's he supposed to do then?
Well, maybe galvanize the team. Let's say it was a bad route. Look, Peyton Manning used to do this. I mean, I remember that famous footage where he yells at Jeff Saturday because he needed to just shut up and focus on doing his job. And if he's going around the team and just angry about certain things and goes up to him and says, what the hell are you doing? You need to wake up as a leader. I don't see a problem with that. You could be as mad as you want. But
how do we know he
wasn't?
How do we know he wasn't doing that? The cameras are focused on him when he was letting off steam, and then they're back on other stuff. So maybe he's letting off the steam so he can go be productive and talk to his players and connect with them. We have no idea.
Yeah.
We're just seeing one snippet just because it's going to get us to talk. It's going to get people reacting.
And I know we don't have 24/7 video of the sideline out on the game, but I will say if he had an altercation with one of the players, I mean, heck, that Peyton Manning one that I just quoted, they picked it up because it's just good TV. We saw it with AJ Brown and Nick Sirianni. So
I would say, or Manning and the idiot kicker, like,
yeah, that's a good example too. And I just didn't.
We'll
see
talk
that.
about Sirianni and AJ Brown in a little bit, but
wild. But hey, I will say this: this is where I'm going to throw up my white flag. Whatever Caleb Williams is doing, and especially in that fourth quarter, if that's what it takes to get you going, then hey, maybe that's just it. Because if he can play like that all 4 quarters, this team is unstoppable with a quarterback like that who could play like that. Pulled it off, got the win, huge comeback win. When that game started, it really reminded me of the Green Bay Packers when they played the Cowboys and they were down 27-3. And I had the same thing. I had a bunch of Cowboys, Micah Parsons,
Aaron Rodgers couldn't miss.
No, that was the Jordan Love one.
The Jordan Love game. Okay. From a couple years ago. Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. Yep.
And that's how it really screamed to me. And then, of course, the CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, all of them just pouting and crying. And I got so mad because I'm like, hey, I'm a fan. I'm allowed to pout. You can do something about it. Go out there and try to just fix whatever the hell is going on. And I was starting to get that vibe from Caleb Williams. But then I saw the ball moving. I saw some things, and I even had it in the text. I was like, I think they can come back, actually. I think they're just making some boneheaded mistakes, and if they get those boneheaded mistakes cleared up next couple drives, this thing's back on, and there you go. They pulled it off. They got the win. So the Chicago Bears, obviously looking good. They had a really big season. Ben Johnson is looking like a stud out there. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers, though, who went all in for this year, specifically this one. They still have Micah Parsons after the trade, but traded 2 first-round draft picks to go get Micah Parsons to win the Super Bowl, at least this year. But if it didn't work out, I'm sure they're thinking we could do it again next year. And Micah Parsons gets hurt. The defense starts falling apart. Their offense just doesn't look consistent. There's moments where they look great. It looks like they need receivers out there. Is that your number one focus if you're heading into the offseason for the Green Bay Packers, to go find yourself a wide receiver? I mean, offensive line?
My number one focus is get Micah healthy. Get him healthy. And then if you can get Diggs, because none of his deal's not guaranteed. So if you get him to re-sign for cheap on a prove-it deal, which if he already popped over to hang out with his hurt buddy Micah, he'll probably want to do, that's good. So get your defense right, because I think a healthy Micah Parsons, I don't think the Bears can come all the way back from that big of a hole.
No. He was going to catch Caleb Williams at some point. Yeah, he was going to catch him.
So get healthy. But then my number 2 thing is, my goodness, Green Bay, use your weapons that you have. Get rid of Reed. I'm sorry. You can go play spring ball or something. Like, Matthew Golden's your deep guy. Romeo Dubes seems to be real good as your like possession guy, right?
And Christian Watson.
Christian Watson, maybe he just had a bad game. But go ahead and get another depth piece. And honestly, probably, I'm not sure where their status is at O-line, but if anything's aging, obviously bulk that up. But what is aging is your running back room.
Get yourself
you brought Josh Jacobs in. Josh Jacobs is, he's on team number 2. He had a bunch of injuries. He could be, let's see, how old is he? Oh, he's 27. So you should still, as long as he's healthy, should still have some time. But I think you need to add another weapon so that, like, look at New England. You brought in a Henderson. I'm not saying necessarily use a first round pick on a running back, but you should use a high pick on a receiver for sure. They don't have a first-round pick. So maybe that second-round pick is receiver. You were able to use Stevenson and Henderson to complement each other and take turns carrying the load. And now they're both healthy and they're both dynamic in January. Get Jacob some help and get another receiver. And I think all the Jordan Love haters, my goodness, the amount of people that think every quarterback must be perfect drives me absolutely wild. Is Jordan Love the next Drake May? Nah, no. But Jordan Love is a very good quarterback, and you can win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love. You can win multiple Super Bowls with Jordan Love.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you on that. My number one focus on quarterbacks, like in their potential, is accuracy. And he's pretty accurate. And he's got a deep ball. So, and he can move. So and my favorite part about him, although he didn't get a game-winning drive in the end, is he always seems calm too. He's never flustered. He's never overreacting or freaking out. He just
the opposite of the guy across the field in that game.
Yeah. And there's two different approaches. You have if you like a Luka Doncic, right? Some people just run hot. That's not Jordan Love. He's the even keel throughout the game. Like, everyone calm down. I got this kind of thing. And I kind of like that attitude. I'm a big fan of that because it just makes you feel smooth heading into these kind of games. I think the game plan for the Green Bay Packers is you just got to go crazy all in these next 2 years because you pretty much traded away your future. And so these next 2 years, salary cap be damned, and try to get more and more talent somehow, some way. It's going to have to be through free agency because you lost the 2 first-round draft picks, and work it from there. But I don't think it's over for them yet.
Let's see. Green Bay Packers. Let's see what they got. It looks like they have. So they've got a second. They don't have the first, but they have second through sixth, and then they have 3 in the 7th at the moment.
Okay, that's a lot of picks.
That's a lot of picks. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 8 picks, so you can get. Are you going to find a starter in the 7th round? Probably not, but sometimes it happens, right? McCoskey Merritt was 6th or 7th round. Tom Brady, famously, right? So, but you can get some quality depth, or you can, especially with those 3 7th picks, package those picks with like your 4th round pick to trade up a few slots and get the guy you want. So they don't have a 1st round pick, but they're still positioned.
It's pretty tough, but yes, they could position up to get to the 3rd or 4th round, and they have a good coach. I know LaFleur is getting a lot of trash because he was on the Atlanta Falcons staff, as you pointed out during the live broadcast.
I had to.
And it wasn't just that. I mean, apparently it's, the Green Bay Packers have blown a couple big leads all year long, and including the Cowboys. That was one of them. They were up by 14 heading into it. And for them to blow it like that is just heartbreaking, and something that LaFleur is going to have to look at on how to fix. Maybe better game management, running the ball more. I don't know what he has to do, but you can't keep your team losing games like this. And it's going to be frustrating to not only the team but the fan base. I guarantee you that, because I know a lot of Packer fans, Marco Aguirre, not happy when you're sitting there drinking beer, celebrating, you're going on to the division round, and then that happened in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. As a Patriots fan, I've been there. The 2006 AFC Championship, we were destroying the Colts. The Colts couldn't do anything right. Then all of a sudden in the second half, Rashae Caldwell just got crazy big eyes and couldn't catch anything, and the Pats fell apart. And Peyton Manning ends up getting a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because Manning ended up going up against the Bears and Rex Grossman. I would have loved to see the New England Patriots go up against a Belichick coach defense with the rules at the time up against Rex Grossman in the Super Bowl. Pats by 50. But no.
Yeah, it didn't end up happening, and the Colts got it instead.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean Green Bay is going to be right there, and that's another. The NFC is just straight. I know the AFC's got all like the high win totals, but they have those because in the AFC, if you're good, you're good, but if you're bad, you're like legendary bad. Browns, Jets. Oh, this year the Bengals because of injuries, like. Whereas you look at now we're looking at the NFC North. Every team in the NFC North, you could say, is in the South, which we just talked about, you could say every team can make the playoffs next year. In the North, you can look at that and say if the Vikings properly retool or figure out what's going on at quarterback, you could say every 3 out of 4 could win the Super Bowl. Possibly all 4 could make the Super Bowl in Minnesota next year. Like the NFC is just stacked.
Yeah, it's a bunch of up and coming teams, very young too. It seems like.
Yeah,
compared to the
we haven't said a thing about the West yet. We haven't talked about how insane. Like,
I wouldn't want anything to do with that division. I'm so glad the Cowboys are not in it because that is a juggernaut division right now, especially with the Seahawks popping out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So let's Rob, let's dive into the next one. Your possible AFC Conference Championship opponent if things go right. You got the as
I told Deshaun in the live stream, we're going play by play, not even game by game. And we watched that game, which we'll talk about. This Pats team needs to go play by play, but we said going into it probably game of the week. And I think it lived up to its billing. And I mean, we had a lot of really good games. I think I would give the edge to this one as the game of the week. Either this one or the next one we're about to talk about. As far as complete game. Chicago's fourth quarter was the best quarter we saw. But as far as complete game, I think it's one of these next two. You can't go wrong with either one.
No, and what he's referring to is Carolina. I'm sorry. The Buffalo Bills going against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who the Bills ended up just getting into a fight. Do you have the stats pulled up there, Rob?
Yeah, I've got the stats. So real quick, I'll hit the stats for both teams real quick, the key ones. We'll start with Buffalo. Josh Allen was playoff Josh Allen. 28 for 35, only for 273, but that's because they've got a pretty balanced attack. He had 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He took 1 big sack, but that was it. So 87 QBR. James Cook, as we talked about in the preview last week's pod, we had to make sure Deshaun knew what Jacksonville's rush defense was rated. James Cook found out 15 for only 46 for 3.1. Josh Allen was 11 for 33. So Allen, very nearly per rush, was only a 10th behind Cook. That's never a good sign. And then receiving, it was the Shakir game. He got 12 receptions on 12 targets for 82 yards. No touchdowns, but I mean, when you needed Shakir, you needed him. Cook showed out with 3 big catches for 58 yards. Dalton Kincaid got himself a touchdown. So that was really important on the receiving end. But yeah, it was the tail of the tape, honestly. The true stats, the true difference makers besides Josh Allen was on Buffalo's defense. 2 big interceptions, lots of big plays, and they made Trevor Lawrence look like he was the Trevor Lawrence with Urban Meyer as his head coach, which was too bad. He was 18 of 30 for 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks, a QBR of 30. And for those of you that were watching along in the stream, listening to Nick and I, Trevor Lawrence gave this game away for the Jags. Trevor Lawrence was not ready for the moment. He kept making decisions. You could see he'd snap the ball and his decision was made because he was clearly nervous. His decision was made before the snap. He wasn't reading the defenses. He was just throwing. And then even the first half, like he got bailed out. He made a really bad throw. Buffalo dropped it. He immediately threw a pick on the next play. It's like he didn't learn. So Trevor Lawrence didn't learn, which was too bad. But you know what? There's a certain quarterback named John Elway. I think we all remember him real fondly. And he had a ton of struggles for a long time in the playoffs before he figured it out. We don't talk about Elway's struggles in the playoffs.
No.
We talk about the helicopter run. We talk about the 2 Super Bowl wins to finish. So plenty of time for Trevor Lawrence to get better. But wow, did Lawrence let his team down.
He really did. And it was so bizarre to me because I remember last time he was in the playoffs and made a big, deep playoff run. He looked cool as a cucumber and really relaxed and seemed to just those competitive psycho eyes came onto the field. And I was like, oh, when he hits the field, he means business. And he did. He had a good run, made it all the way, I believe, to the AFC Championship, but lost it there. I forgot who that was. But of course, Kansas City. It was Kansas City. But I kind of expected that same kind of thing. I thought it was going to be a really good game for him heading into this. And, you know, the Buffalo Bills defense, they're good. They're top 10 good, but I didn't, you know, I think that offense should have been able to run on them. And they overall did score some points, but Trevor Lawrence.
Josh Allen scored points.
Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence that was an awful game. That was a really awful game. I would say the worst quarterback performance besides Aaron Rodgers and CJ Stroud for that matter, and Herbert maybe. But outside of them, I think he's slotted right there. He did have a couple big moments, but overall, you can't turn the ball over and give it back to Josh Allen like that. And the Buffalo Bills just made him pay.
They did. The veteran team won. As Tony Romo would call them, the overdog won the game. Yes, Tony Romo called them the overdog during the game at one point. For those of you that tuned into us instead of the buddy cop movie of Nance and Romo, you made the right choice because from what I read from media reporting afterwards, oh my goodness, did Romo have a terrible game. Honestly, I think those two, you either got to break Nance and Romo up or you got to, they never will, but you got to demote them and let your better game callers jump ahead.
So Tony Romo
he just kept making noises. He loves to make noises.
I don't mind that as long as you're giving me good analysis. I don't mind a goofy guy, but you got to give me good analysis too. Mm-hmm. Tony Romo came out and said that he was sick during that game. And I'm like, okay, that might explain that game, but I've watched you all year long and this is what you've been dishing out. So and you know me, Rob, I'm like the biggest Tony Romo fan you'll ever meet in life. Like I loved him as a football player, when he first hit the scene, I mean, I was really excited about his predicting plays and having fun with that. I mean, he did a great job then. I don't know what this is. I don't like it. I feel bad because I like Tony Romo, but he's just not good. He's not good at this anymore. I don't know.
I blame CBS. He had something special in those first 2 years, and they neutered it. They're like, nah, the league doesn't really. In the league, they don't really like that. You're doing what you should be doing as a high level former player. They neutered his stuff, and now he's just like, all right, whatever. I got a guaranteed contract. I don't think he's doing a ton of prep work, healthy or not. I think he's hanging out on the golf course as he should.
Yeah, and earlier Tony Romo's changed the way I view the game. Now I look at defenses so much differently thanks to Tony Romo's early analysis to it because he does a phenomenal job at breaking down this is why they're going to do it. Get ready for a run. Get ready for this. And now I'm like, what happened, buddy? You used to be the star. I was so happy when you started. But anyway, CBS, I don't even know if they have any more games. I kind of hope not, but
yes,
they have one more.
No, CBS will have a. Let me look over the Super Bowl. CBS has the AFC game, so CBS will have. So the games this weekend are going to be on Buffalo, Denver's on CBS, San Francisco, Seattle's Fox, ESPN gets and ABC get Houston, New England, and then NBC gets the Rams, Chicago, and then the AFC and NFC title game will be Fox, and CBS will have the AFC title game, and then I believe Fox hosts the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
Let me confirm
I
that.
think they did last year. I think it's going to be different because I remember Tom Brady. That was a big deal.
Oh, so that's right. So right. This year is going. NBC has this year. We get Collinsworth.
I know. I'll defend Collinsworth. I'm okay with Collinsworth. You better hope Josh Allen doesn't make it. You better hope Josh Allen doesn't make it because he's gonna gloat about him.
Well, at this point, you're right. I don't want Josh Allen to make it at this point. But a really good game. Did you see the controversy that erupted from self-righteous journalists after the game?
I love hating self-righteous journalists. What I did not, but I'm excited about what you're going to tell me.
In his news conference, press conference after the game, there was a reporter that was supposed to ask him a question. She's been covering him all year. Apparently, I have to look a little bit more into it. Apparently, she is not like a sports reporter. And she took the moment. I think she could see he was, beaten down. She took the moment to praise him, build him up, and tell him, that she's essentially happy he's here, looks forward to what he's going to do in the future. They have the right coach in Liam Cohen. And of course, she didn't say it like Liam Cohen did, but she did say Duval, baby.
Yeah.
And what I liked about this, and this was actually, I'm going to credit Katie Nolan and her podcast. I believe, her podcast here. I was like, it was a podcast or a show, her podcast. She talked about it, and a few of the other people on the podcast, there was a debate, but what I liked her and another guy on the podcast said is it was nice because don't do it all the time. There shouldn't be one person doing this every game. But every once in a great while, something like that is kind of nice and different because ultimately it's the same 5 to 10 questions that the coaches answer in every single press conference. And this was a young coach that just had the biggest loss of his career. And it's kind of nice. I don't want to see a lot. I don't want to see maybe something like this happens once every 4 or 5 years. That's fine. I don't need to see it every game. But I was okay with it in this scenario, but also because I'm a big Liam Cohen fan. So
yeah, me personally, I'm right there with you. Personally, I don't even care about the questions because usually they're generic and infuriating. I know the journalists are doing their job. They're supposed to ask them all this, but the bombardment, the weird, it's whatever. They can't write their paper without getting the quotes from the coach, so that's why they're asking the questions so they can just have some material to write, even though you could do it any other way. But whatever, it's whatever. Her complimenting it. The only controversy I saw is like she's female, and if a male possibly would have done it, do you think they would have been bombarded for it? It was kind of like, did she get away with it? Well,
it depends. Because if you remember a couple of years, 2 years ago now, a male reporter tried to do something cute with Caitlin Clark, and it ended up being very creepy and backfiring when he tried to do her like heart thing that she does for her family.
Yeah,
that didn't go well.
Yeah, maybe so just complimenting her game would have been okay, but yeah,
complimenting the game would have been fine, but not whatever that was. That guy got pulled from the beat of the Indiana Fever after that. He tried something. It was a swing. It was a miss. And I think this lady, it wasn't a swing and a miss. I think, hey, we're talking about it, so I bet you a lot of people have looked her up and read a lot more of the stuff that she's written in the last few days.
It worked. If that's what she was trying to do is get eyeballs, then it was very effective. So personally, all of it, I'm with you. They're self-righteous journalists that are just media just drives me crazy when it comes to sports because they act like they're the most important outlets out there when there's your sports. Can we just treat it like it is what it is and relax and have a good time? Do we have to? They get a little uppity and get way too sensitive about this kind of stuff, but I didn't have a problem with it. I did not have a problem with it. And congratulations to Liam Cohen. I'm right there with her. He can hang his hat on, and the fact that he turned this team around. And I see a very bright future ahead for Jacksonville, which leads me to my next question. Jacksonville, they got a lot of positivity. You think they have a bright future up ahead?
Oh yeah, get Travis Hunter healthy, and that'll change a lot of things, because I think Travis Hunter can be Trevor Lawrence's number one weapon. Whatever you did with Travis Etienne this year, keep doing it, because wow. But yeah, this team, like their run defense, they've got all the pieces. They're there. It's they're them versus the Texans for the division next year will be great. I think they'll be right back in it. I know historically a third of the teams that are in the playoffs this year will not be in next year, but I'd be surprised if they took a step back. And if they do, it won't be a very far step back, I don't think. No, unless injuries just derail them.
Yeah, they got the most important part done. They got the defense all squared away. It looks really good, and I'm right there with you. I think their offense looks like it's moving just fine. They got a bright future up ahead of them. They're going to be a threat, but we have said this before. We've said this before with Jacksonville, and then they all of a sudden fall off the cliff.
And then they don't have a big history. So it's going to be tough. But, we'll see what happens. And they do not have a first-round draft pick this year, because their first-round draft pick this year will be Travis Hunter, because that was part of the deal with Cleveland. But they do have a second pick, which is good. And then they do have – let me look. And then they do have what looks like to be 3 picks in the 3rd round, 2 picks in the 5th round. They got a lot. They're in good shape. If they hit it at the draft out of the park, they're set up for success.
Yeah, for sure. So hang your head up high, like the reporter said, and we'll wish good things for Jacksonville. I think you're Liam Cohen. You're ex-high school grad, or went to the same high school as you, Rob. He's going to represent well, and they're going to make a big, deep run one of these years in the future. For
sure. Awesome. All right, so that leads us to arguably, if the Bills game wasn't the game of the week, you probably would have thought that the Niners-Eagles game was the game of the week. It had it all. A defensive slugfest. 2 teams that could put it together offensively when they needed it to happen, and it was just 2 very balanced teams. You get the feeling if these 2 teams played 5 times in a row, one would win 3, one would win 2, and they'd all be within 10 points.
Yeah, and he's referring to the big game that was the 49ers ended up getting the win 23-19 against the Eagles. Obviously, Rob, I'm happy. The Eagles have fallen, and so we don't have to worry about the defending Super Bowl champions, as the 49ers pulled it off. And they pulled it off with all those injuries that were heading into. What was that stat on Fox? What'd they say? It was like 74 times they could not start without, or they had to start a team without their starter. 74 different positions.
It was. They've had an insane amount of injuries, and then they got another huge one during this game that's going to linger probably deep into next year, with Kittle blowing out his Achilles. We called it as it happened, because you just saw the play, saw how his leg went, and you're like, unless there's a knee tweak we're missing, that was Achilles. And good friend of the pod, Justin, was in the chat, and he talked about that's something the NFL and pro sports in general need to start looking at with what they're doing, because Achilles injuries are rampant, especially in the NFL and the NBA, which they're played on 2 very different surfaces. But you got to look at, okay, what are players doing? Are we making the lower body of these athletes so strong that the Achilles can't keep up.
Have you heard of the conspiracy theory that's going out there? It's this big article involving the 49ers practice field. Have you heard it?
I haven't heard it, and I don't have my tinfoil hat nearby, but I will say, had the Niners talking about, what do they need to do to improve? When the Niners aren't winning the Super Bowl, they're probably out this next week, and my number one thing is going to be get healthy and maybe entirely retool and replace your health department, your like get all new doctors, get all new physical therapists, like figure it out, because my goodness, this team is wrecked.
Yeah.
And is wrecked every single year.
Yeah. Now my blame was always just Kyle Shanahan's style. I mean, he requires high physicality for his team, and naturally, when you do that, not only does your team get injuries, they've done stats on this where anytime a team plays the 49ers, the following week they have the highest injury report for the opposing team that played the 49ers the following game. So if you're the team that's laying the lumber 24/7, I mean, you're going to be the one that ends up getting some injuries. But the conspiracy theory
that doesn't explain an Achilles, though.
Right, an Achilles and soft tissue. So supposedly they practice near a power plant.
Oh, I did. I heard this on Sports Radio today. No,
you're not accepting.
There's not enough. That kind of exposure, you need to be like living under it, not practicing a couple hours a week. Actually, not even I don't think on the practice field more than like an hour a day during the week.
I don't know.
Maybe a couple hours with walkthroughs. That's not enough. No.
Who says it's not enough? Is it big energy, Rob?
Well, I don't know. Maybe that's why we've had all the Verizon outages today, because maybe it's linked. Yeah. It's probably linked.
Everything's linked.
I think I have cell service right now. I haven't had it most of the day.
Well, we're going to find out it's connected to the Chinese, and they took them out. They're wanting the 49ers out of this thing. But yeah, anyway, it was just a fun little article. I read it. It was like, okay, yeah, whatever, maybe. And even players were making jokes about it, too. They said, I don't know, maybe it's the power plant. And they were having a kick out of it. But the 49ers still, with all those injuries, ended up pulling off this win. And I got to tell you, I don't know what Kyle Shanahan's doing. I know Robert Saleh is just a fantastic defensive coordinator. So they are
probably one and done, Saleh. Probably one and done for Saleh.
You think he's going to be a head coach?
There's 8 openings.
Yeah, and I think he deserves it. I was about to say that because I think he got a bad rap in the New York Jets. So
Aaron Rodgers ruined him.
And also took out Tomlin. He doesn't stop. Yeah. I know Tomlin retired, but I like to say another victim to Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, so the 49ers ended up playing a heck of a game, and by the way, windy game. So the fact that they were able to complete as many passes as they were was stunning to me. They couldn't kick off do any kickoffs without someone holding it. Field goals were being missed. You called the extra point. You said that was going to be an issue with how windy it was. My wind meter was George Kittle's
the broadcast
hair.
got confused. Oh yeah, Kittle's hair was moving.
That was my wind meter.
Then, the broadcast got confused at one point. They thought there was a flag. It was just trash blowing across the field.
There was trash everywhere too.
One more fun fact about Kittle. I saw this. There was a Diana Orsini tweet after he was injured. Some staffer ran him a bottle of tequila while he was in the locker room. Apparently, it was empty later on.
Hey, it's the last game of the season. I know he's got a big injury and he's got a lot of work up ahead. So try to enjoy it the best you can that night. I know that's
Got to
gotta
dull
be
the pain
tough.
somehow, right?
Oh,
But
and I'm sure
I
it
think
hurts.
for me, like the best part about this, yeah, the wind was a factor, but this was a classic. This is one of those games where you want to talk playoff football. This is the example you want to show the aliens when you're trying to explain it. Nobody had like on both sides. Saquon Barkley had a good stat line, his 26 for 106, and Demarcus Robinson his 6 for 111 and a touchdown. Those two had good stat lines. That was it. Everyone else, it was a war of attrition. It was best against best, slamming into each other, brutal, bloody football, and it was a fun watch.
It was an absolute fun watch. I'm going to let you real quick defend the Jalen Hurts because he didn't, he ended up having a rough game.
Oh yeah.
You're still solid on Jalen Hurts, right? Still saying top 10.
He's still a top 10. And this isn't me saying Jalen Hurts is going to be a future Hall of Famer because right now he's not. He wins a couple more Super Bowls in Philly. That'll change, obviously. I mean, Eli Manning, if you cover Eli Manning's name and just show his stats and don't put in the 2 Super Bowls he won, you're like, that guy's not a Hall of Famer.
I know. I was in his division.
Eli Manning's very entertaining.
Yeah.
He was a very average quarterback that had 2 fantastic defenses.
And a great run. I'll give him this. He did have 2 great playoff runs. It's hard to argue that, but yes.
And that first playoff run,
he was average. Wasn't
that
even
first
that great.
playoff run, they got in at 9-7.
So yeah, I'm not a big Eli Manning fan,
but,
and I thought Tony Romo was much better.
Yeah, I would agree. Romo is better than Manning. No problem with that. Eli Manning, let me clarify. Eli Manning. Peyton Manning is a top 5 all-time quarterback. Jalen Hurts is arguably a top 10 quarterback in the league. And this is not me saying, like I said, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. This is me saying the NFL has a quarterback development problem. And where that development problem comes from is when people get hurt, they're putting in players that have no experience, because a lot of these top quarterbacks, like there was a great quote, I talked about it from Tom Moore during the broadcast. They never had their backups get any snaps with the Colts offense when Peyton Manning was in his prime. He took every single one. They're so focused on making sure their starters are perfect, they don't develop their depth pieces. So then they don't have enough reps. And how often do you see a backup quarterback has to come into a game and ends up getting hurt in that same game?
That happens. That happens
a lot.
Way too much, yeah.
And that happens that much because, yeah, sure, they're getting hit for the first time, and even the starters don't get hit in practice. So then you add in the fact that the backups aren't playing in the games, so they haven't been hit in 6 months, 7 months, and they haven't gotten any practice reps. Their body is ice cold. They're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
The NFL needs to be letting all their players develop and practice. And hey, make a deal with the UFL. Send your third stringers to go get reps with the UFL in the spring. You figure it out. It's your third stringer. If they get hurt, they get hurt. Go find another one. All right. Like we asked our friend Stefan was on the broadcast with us. It took him like over 5 minutes to come up with a legitimate list that might push Jalen Hurts to 11th.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I'm saying legitimate list because we were not allowing him to include Mac Jones.
He tried. He kept on trying.
He tried real hard.
If you didn't know there was any Mac Jones fans out there, we found him. It's Stefan. Stefan is a Mac Jones fan.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say, all I've got as far as what the Eagles need to do for next year, it's simple. John Harbaugh. Get rid of the Sirianni joke fest. All this crap that's happening right now in Philly, you put John Harbaugh there, I think Harbaugh and Hurts will get along real well, and I think your Cowboys will be pissed off that they're dealing with that. I know the job's not open. But I'm sorry, the head coach, what is he, like a high schooler? He's running A.J. Brown was ridiculous.
We could talk about
But
it.
you
Yeah, go
run
ahead.
50 yards down the field to yell at them? Fire that man.
You are in, and in case you guys don't, if you missed it, whatever, AJ Brown had a route that he didn't run right or something like that, but basically he wasn't able to get the ball and he could have caught the ball possibly. And Nick Sirianni runs 40 yards down the field just to chew into him. And you're going, dude, you're in the wartime is now. This isn't practice. We are in the heat of it right now. And AJ Brown,
You get an assistant coach to go do that.
And A.J. Brown, who is clearly a little mentally fragile. I'm not trying to insult him. He just is. He's a little sensitive. He's reading books on the sidelines. He has an issue, something going on. And then you rip the player that you need to succeed in this game. You rip him in the first half. What are you doing, Nick Sirianni? I could not believe that he did that. And it was what? Like the first quarter. I'm like,
now the
you
drops
had
were
plenty of
bad.
game going.
The drops were bad, but you want to know what? A.J. Brown, we'd love to have you in Foxborough. I think you will thrive with Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel. And if you can't thrive there in that system, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, and it did the
And
drops.
Vrabel and Brown have a history. Vrabel
do.
did not want to, if I remember correctly, Vrabel did not want to trade A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
The front office traded him anyways. So
and paired with Drake,
the Titans, the gift that keeps on giving.
And here's another thing: did the drops stop, Rob? They kept coming. He had a terrible game. He kept on dropping the football. So whatever you were trying to do,
I bet you it was the wind was. I mean, the passing was struggling. The wind was bad. Like there was a lot of things happening there. But it was not his best game. He did not earn himself dollars in the free agent market. So come prove it in New England. And Sirianni, go be an assistant coach in the UFL or something and learn how to coach. I don't. John Harbaugh in Philly is the way to go.
Yeah, and so I'm not going to give any tips to the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they're over the salary
I didn't
cap.
think you would.
You figure it out, Philadelphia. It looks like you have a problem on the hands. The last point that I want to make, because I'm just a big fan, I know we spend a lot of time on him, though, is Brock Purdy. Dude, that guy, we need to stop. We need to stop treating him like he's just this part of a Kyle Shanahan offense, because when other players jump into this offense, they're not doing what Brock Purdy is doing. And the way he's got a sixth sense when the pressure's on him, how quick he is in the pocket, his pocket sense, his accuracy. No, he does not have the greatest arm strength, but boy, does he make accurate passes. And I love the way he feels the pressure and can make little moves to get away. And yes, I went Collinsworth because of an incomplete pass, because he was dead to rights. Both defensive ends went after him, and he knows how to do a little juke move to get out of the way to just throw an incomplete pass, save the drive, and they ended up scoring on that drive. Big fan of Brock Purdy, and you're going to get a little bit more of this heading into the preview when we're talking about the upcoming games, because I might surprise pick you on this. I love me some Brock Purdy, and I think he's a solid quarterback in the future for sure.
I'm guessing Nick's going to pick the Niners to win.
That's where it's leaning. And Pauly Market's got it at 80%.
Yeah. All right. So that leads us to the Sunday night nightcap. Wow. That was a beautiful, beautiful game as a Patriots fan. So those of you, I mean, if you've been listening to this pod, you know the Pats have not been healthy, especially on defense, for almost 2 months. We haven't had Milton Williams for a while. Robert Spillane, essentially our captain on defense, has been missing in action. Well, they were both healthy. They were both back. Milton Williams is a problem for opposing offenses. And you want to know how we knew it was a problem? The Pats run defense struggled all season, even earlier when Milton Williams was healthy. The Chargers got the ball, first and goal to start a drive, at the Patriots 10. 0 points. Milton Williams said no. Robert Spillane said no. And Jim Harbaugh inexplicably went for it. And when he did, how happy was I when he went for it?
You were excited. You also said he should, right? But maybe
I said he
'cause as a-
should, but then again, when it was flipped, what was I saying the Pats should do?
kick the field goals.
Take the points. Take the points. It was clearly going to be that kind of game. Take the points. But yeah, that defense was fantastic. Marcus Jones showed up again. He tried to make me mad at him at the start of the game. He kept on those punts. He had no room to maneuver, and he kept trying to make something happen when nothing was happening. And I was so scared he was going to get popped and fumble the ball. He didn't, but then obviously it was clear by the third time a coach had pulled him aside and said, "It's called a fair catch. You better do it," because he stopped being crazy. But he made some key plays on defense, some nice pass breakups, getting to where he needed to be. It was that defense. That defense can eat CJ Stroud alive.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah.
Especially it can eat CJ Stroud alive. That
good.
being said, we'll talk about the Texans defense and what they can do to New England. But Drake May, in his debut, he was looking very Trevor Lawrence-like in the first half. He really was. A couple of just dumb plays, bad turnovers. He was forcing things he didn't need to force. He clearly had some happy feet, as I'm demonstrating happy feet.
Good demonstration.
And then this is why veteran coaches and good coaches are so important. That all changed in the second half.
Yeah.
McDaniels, Vrabel, someone sat him down and said, "Breathe. You're Drake May. You've got this. You can do this. The defense is good enough. Your offense is there to help you out. You'll be okay." Which is good because Will Campbell did not have his best game. But he's only been back 2 weeks. He's been out hurt. So he's got to build back up. And he's got a lot to learn and a lot to get ready for next week. But I would probably give him like a C- on his overall grade, if not maybe even a D, because but again, adjustments were made and that was fixed in the second half. And Vrabel was being smart. It was very clear that this was going to be points at a premium, and he kept taking the points. And what did I say starting the preseason about Andy Borregales? Possibly the greatest kicker of all time.
That's not what you said.
The best thing we could have done was bring him in. He's been perfect all the way through. No, clearly I was a little harsh on him in the beginning, and he took those words to heart. He was nails in this game. Because, it wasn't Philly windy, but he's a kicker from Miami, Florida, not Ohio. And this is he's experiencing his first true New England winter. And it was in the 30s the whole game. And wind chill probably had it lower, which means he's not kicking a nice, easy ball. He's kicking a rock.
Yeah.
And he was clutch the whole way through. He just was. And that touchdown pass, I'm glad we have all the cameras that we have and they did a proper review, because and the live broadcast happening live is like, oh, look at that. He's got wide open Hunter Henry. There were so many more variables to that play. And they go back and they did the replay that with the angle from behind the quarterback. And you see Trayvon Henderson, not necessarily known for his blocking, right?
Nope.
He clearly can block, but he's known for his explosiveness, his ability to score with the ball. And Stevenson was having the bigger game. Henderson's, some rookies, some stars might sulk. Not someone on Mike Vrabel's New England Patriots. He went in there and he had I don't know what defender was coming at him, but Drake May would have been flattened. And he just had this perfect block. Blew it up. May's got this perfect pocket, the time to throw, and then they show the next angle. That wasn't a wide open Hunter Henry.
No.
May was able, thanks to that block, he was able to set his feet and thread a beautiful pass through two defenders into his safety valve, his emergency blanket, Hunter Henry, who got the touchdown. The ageless Hunter Henry.
Yeah, and I knew you were going to do your analysis, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to add too much but I did want to make sure you mentioned that Henderson block because I love that block. Stopped him dead in the tracks and knocked him on his ass. I mean, it just happened, and it was huge. It was huge. He's not the biggest guy either. For him to do that, he just used all his speed just to jam him. And it was fun.
How many high school and college coaches across the country already have that block clipped, and they make sure that, and they're going to make sure they show it. They're going to make sure their running back coaches show it to the running back room and say, "This is what we need."
Yeah. It was a sneaky blitz too that Drake May, I don't think he spotted it properly. And if Henderson would have missed that block, I mean, that play wasn't going to happen. It wouldn't have happened. Drake May would have been dead in the water. So Henderson, possibly big key to that play in that to pull that off. And,
possibly it was the key to that play.
it was cool. It was just a really good block, but Hunter Henry doing what he does too. That was amazing. I don't want to trip up any more of your Patriots. Obviously, you're excited, but I liked the Patriots. Look really good. That defense looked fantastic out there, and they were a menace over there. I got my opinions on Justin Herbert. The lat, he holds on to the ball a little too much, but a good defense makes him pay for it. And after that touchdown, what? New England's got a very smart coach and was scheming properly where we all knew they were going to blitz, but the fact that Justin Herbert, New England was conceding plays in the middle of the field, and Herbert never adjusted. He kept on waiting for these 30-yard passes with a terrible offensive line and
backup. He's down to just the backups on the O-line.
Yeah, and I'm going, dude, they're trying to concede these yards. Just take them. A veteran quarterback would go out there and go, okay, I'll take 10. I'll take another 10. I'll take another 10. And then force the defense to adjust. And Herbert never did that. He's got so much arm talent. He's got so much speed. He could be so much better. But if he doesn't hold on to the ball and learn the game just a little bit more, he could be a stud. But he's one of my least favorite quarterbacks to watch because I see all that talent and then I watch him and I'm going, what are you doing, dude? Just do it. Sorry.
In his defense, here's the injuries to the O-line for the Chargers this year. Rashawn Slater, season-ending torn patella tendon in August, gone. He was Joe Alt had to move to left tackle after the injury. Then in week 9, he got a high ankle fracture. Done. Rookie first rounder, star rookie first rounder. Him and Slater were supposed to anchor like the best O-line in the league. They're gone. By week 9, they got neither of them. All right. Jamari Salyer dealing with a hammy most of the year. Trey Pipkins, ankle injury. He missed weeks 14 to 16, so he wasn't at 100% probably. All right. And then Bobby Hart kept dealing with groin and ankle issues. And then the center, Bradley Bozeman, just struggled, probably because he didn't know what was going around him. So the Chargers were right up there with the Niners for the amount of injuries they dealt with all year. They've got the right coach. They just got to keep putting the pieces together and don't have an injury bug nearly as bad. And they probably will, depending on what the Chiefs do in the offseason to address their needs, they'll probably be the favorites to win the West next season, I would say.
Yeah, they very well could, and their defense is good. I like Mincer a lot. So as a defensive coordinator, he seems like he's doing a really good job out there. So you're right, they're an offensive line away of being a really dominant team out there. And if they didn't have the injuries, maybe there's a power plant near their practice facility, Rob. Maybe that's what's going on.
But towards the end of that game, especially after that last Milton Williams sack, I felt like I was watching the start of Rocky IV. And Milton Williams was Drago.
Yeah.
And Herbert was Apollo Creed. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
It got to a point. I know you're a fan, so you were probably excited, but it got to a point. I just felt bad. I'm like, just
I
get
felt bad for
Justin
Herbert. I thought he was gonna. I bet you he's got some broken ribs.
Oh, he's still feeling it to this day. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but I feel I feel so bad. But
But
hey, the Patriots
that
won.
being said, what do you have anything different the Chargers need to improve upon besides maybe they don't have the right quarterback?
Well, I wouldn't give up on Justin Herbert yet, just because of the talent. But I do. They need to work
He
on
is a
his
top
game
10
a little.
quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's a top 10. He's definitely top 5 talent wise. He's
Yeah.
top 5. I don't like his sidearm, but that's just me being picky. If you can make it work,
so many quarterbacks do that now.
Yeah, it's pretty common. But he's deadly accurate. He could do so much if he just honed in his game. Maybe he just needs to work on the gym, watch some more film, and just get a little better. And you're right, just get that offensive line. You have no choice. You're stuck with Herbert, so you got to make sure something works because you're not going to get a better quarterback than Justin Herbert out anywhere. So this is the deal that you have to do, or you make the offense to a point where you just don't rely on Justin Herbert making poor decisions. Improve that run game. Find yourself a running back. That was another injury concern that they have. I know they have a good running back, but don't get injured in a good offensive line. I think the Chargers are in good shape, and anytime you have a hardball, especially Jim, he's a really good coach. They should be set up well for the future. But that's about all I have for the Chargers and the Patriots. That was a big time win and a big time moment. On to the next one.
Thank you, Amy Adams Strunk.
She served you well and got you to the division round with the pickup of Vrabel. The next game that we have is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Texans. We won't have to spend too much time on this.
We can spend I can spend like 30 seconds on this one because we're gonna talk a lot about in the preview. We'll have a better thing to say about the Texans.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers' possible last game, Mike Tomlin's last game as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, as he decided to step down after it. Aaron Rodgers, we all knew he was older. He's a sitting duck out there, and he ended up getting just clobbered. I will give credit to the Pittsburgh.
Metcalf didn't help him.
Metcalf was, big drops. I'll tell you one thing. I don't think Aaron Rodgers even had a super bad game for the first 3 quarters. It's just nobody stepped up to make a play for the guy. And I'll tell you one thing. He's got a cannon he's got the strongest arm out of any 40-plus-year-old quarterback I've ever seen. He could still rip that thing pretty far. I mean, Tom Brady was pretty good too, but like compare him to Peyton Manning. Remember the duck throws that he was throwing in his older age? Never made it to 40. Aaron Rodgers, but outside of that, it just doesn't look good. And I think Pittsburgh Steelers basically are moving on. They're scrapping this. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go. And I guess the key analysis out of what they should do for the future, it looks like they're tearing down and rebuilding and going to start with a new coach. I don't think they're going to do anything they're going to dramatically change who they are right now.
I don't think they need to change. I'd say dramatically change. It's not the Steelers' way. Their defense is fine. I would do whatever you can to retain. I don't know who their DC is, but the new coach should retain him at least for the first year. When TJ Watt's healthy, as he was in this game, like TJ Watt had a great game. The defense until the fourth quarter, but even then, it was the Texans defense that was scoring. It wasn't the Steelers defense being the issue. The Texans defense was scoring on the Steelers offense. So it boils down to, I can't believe they beat the Ravens last week. I think I think if you get Ravens versus Texans, it stays close the whole way. And I think Ravens might be able to win. Might. I'm not saying they're going to win against the Texans on Monday night, but they might have been able to pull it off. You certainly would have had a better quality game overall.
Just the fact that you have a running quarterback like Lamar Jackson would give him a somewhat better advantage than whatever Aaron Rodgers was able to do out there because he was just a sitting duck getting tackled.
So who would you pick if you had to pick someone right now? Who would be your top pick Steelers head coach?
I think they are trying to find an offensive focused guy. Another issue that they had is, one, get rid of Arthur Smith because he is, in my opinion, one of the worst coordinators in the league. The league has moved on to play action. It's moved on to motion, things to help a quarterback give him a little bit more time in the pocket. And Arthur Smith dumped all that. And the one thing I remember about Arthur Smith that started rubbing me wrong is not just the fact that he runs stale offenses out there. It was the fact that when he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons and he had Kyle Pitts, he turned him into a blocking tight end. That alone is
and
just...
look at the Pitts. Look at the year Pitts had this year. He was
because
awesome.
because that's what he was supposed to be doing. He's essentially a wide receiver in the tight end position, and it's the same thing as Eberflus, right? He just wanted to stick his system amongst bad players. So I think you got to get rid of Arthur Smith and change your offensive philosophy. I think they're going to go a different direction and look more towards offense. I wouldn't be shocked if they hired Mike McDaniel and got him over there.
So if the Steelers do what they always do and always do, they've only had 3 head coaches. So take that with what it is. Within. If they stick with tradition, I would think Brian Flores would be their top pick.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see them do what you just said. If Atlanta doesn't get McDaniel, and if I'm McDaniel, if I have a choice between Atlanta or Pittsburgh, I go to Pittsburgh. I think McDaniel in Pittsburgh would be great. And I would want to, if possible, I'm trying to see what their picks looks like. So obviously they're picking 21st in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get Ty Simpson from Bama, granted, he might not last that long because we're recording this on Wednesday and Dante Moore came out and he should have been the number 2 overall pick. He's staying at Oregon. He's not going to the draft. So Nike must have handed him a ton of money. So Ty Simpson may end up being a pick within the top 10 now. But if you can get Ty Simpson, who can move around, who can play action, and you pair him with a McDaniel,
it's a match.
Or you get McDaniel and Cleveland keeps being dumb. Maybe they let go of Shedeur. You can get Shedeur for cheap. I think that'd be a good match. The other thing you could look at doing, and this would be a 1-year rental with the Steelers have to do, and I don't think they should because I don't think this guy should play another down in the NFL. But if you need to you can get someone like Simpson, but he needs more seasoning, or you get a quarterback later, it's only 1 year. You can go get Deshaun Watson.
No.
I don't think they should, but I'm just saying he's got to be better than Mason Rudolph.
This is what leads me to believe that you've got to start looking at a teardown because you've got to get yourself a quarterback on offense. Yeah. Keep your defense, but you need to. It's hard. It's going to be hard to jumpstart it with a rookie quarterback. I think that's going to be really tough next year. I don't think they're going to have a good year next year, but you can't keep doing this rental thing. You've got to. The problem with Mike Tomlin is what makes him good too. He kept on having winning seasons with no quarterback. And when you have winning seasons with no quarterback, you can't go get yourself a star quarterback in that position of the draft. So I'm just wondering, do you just kind of sell next year, go get yourself one of the top tier quarterbacks and get yourself the star that you need? Because right now, this renegade, this drafting in the 20th round, it's just not working. Last one they got was Pickett. It didn't work out. They've got to do something different. Pickett was a dumb
decision when they did it. Everyone was like, really?
Something. They got to figure it out. I don't know what, but they got to get themselves a quarterback because that's their only serious problem is their quarterback position.
If they want to tank with a new coach that next year and only win 1 or 2 games, they can go get themselves an Arch Manning.
There you go. Something like that. I just think they need their new Ben Roethlisberger, their new franchise guy. And
Yeah.
this
So
running game is not going to help.
someone else, if he doesn't win someone that would be available late in the first round or even possibly second or third round. Trinidad Chambliss. He's trying to get a waiver for a sixth season to go back to Ole Miss. Dude, go to the NFL. You could get him later. And I think he's someone, he can ball. He can move. I think he's someone you pair him with a coach like a McDaniel. He can be successful at the NFL level.
There you go. Try. You got to hit something. You got to hit a quarterback. And honestly, during this whole time, they should have been drafting in the third and fourth round quarterbacks because they knew they didn't have one. So maybe try to get a lucky hit on one of them and just keep plugging away at it each round.
The NFL has a quarterback development problem.
It's true. And with Arthur Smith, you weren't going to develop a good one. I don't think. I'm just not high on him, and he's terrible. But Pittsburgh's got a long road ahead. I don't see an optimistic future in the near future, but they can turn it around in the next couple of years and get back to where they belong. And I think they're going to miss Tomlin for a little bit because he is a hell of a coach.
Yeah. All right. That's our recap.
Making picks with Nick and Roll. Nick and Roll. The pick might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a cone on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Roll. La, 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 la.
All right, it's time to look ahead. We've got 4 games, 2 days of matchups. We have 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. And the first one at 3:30 with our good friends Jim Nance and Tony Romo making all the noises will be Buffalo at Denver. Who you got?
Buffalo. So we got Buffalo at Denver, and I think this is a tough one. Right now, it's a 1.5 point spread going towards Denver, and classic case of another badass defense going against a pretty good offense, and the Buffalo Bills defense doing, okay, top 10. I'm going to just go with Josh Allen over Bo Nix. That's pretty much all I'm doing. I think Josh Allen's going to find a way to get this to be a win, but I don't feel confident in any of these at all. In any of these 4 games, honestly, because they're good matchups.
At this point, every team can win the Super Bowl. Every team left can win the Super Bowl.
Easily. So it's going to be any of them. Any of them could end up pulling it off. I'm sorry, Rob. I just wanted to show our current points.
Please do.
There it is. So what we're doing is we have the Friends of the Pod, in case you guys didn't see the last show, that they're making picks, and each round is going to be worth more points. So right now we're in the division round, so each one of these that we get correct, by the way, Rob, is going to be 2 points now, 2 points. And just want to show the standings right here. Did it make it? It did.
I see a list of your spreadsheets.
Yep, sure do. Those are really nice spreadsheets. Here, I'll get it shared. Go ahead and give me your opinions on the Buffalo-Denver game, Rob, while I'm pulling this up.
Yeah, for sure. While you're messing with technology. Denver's the number 1 seed. Their defense is very good, but it's not good enough to completely stop Josh Allen. And their offense just is not good enough to keep up. Bo Nix, as I had Bo Nix on one of my on a redraft league fantasy. Oh my goodness. He might get better and better, but he just manages the game right now. He's not going to lose you the game, but he's not necessarily going to be the reason why you win it. I think Denver is going to be one and done, and Buffalo moves on. I think Buffalo has too much depth on both sides of the ball, and they're not going to be worried about playing on the road in Denver.
No, that's going to be nothing compared to the Buffalo wins. So I think I'm right there with you. Weather's not going to be a factor. Weather does become a factor for the other games, but this one not for the Buffalo Bills. This is the point system that we've got going right now. So far it's me, Patrick, and Stefan hit it on the money. All three of us ended up getting a perfect game in the wild card, but overall our picking was really well done. I mean, Deshaun and Ryan only missed one. And Rob, I know you're sitting in the back. You're definitely not out of it, but you only missed two.
I made money.
Maybe we
and the two that I missed on, it's like, oh, okay. Trevor Lawrence screwed me.
Right.
And I thought AJ Brown would catch a few more balls. If I knew Nick Sirianni, if I truly understood the craziness of Nick Sirianni, I would have made the correct pick.
Yeah, and it's not like they were out of the game either. I mean, you're one AJ Brown reception away from being on the other side of it. So clearly, we are right now more reliable than a corn on the cob, at least in the wild card round. We beat the corn on the cob, I think. So I think we're in.
Oh yeah, we all picked very well.
Very well. But yes, so we got 2 picks for Buffalo, and we are going to move on to the next game, which is going to be, do you have that, Rob?
Yeah, San Francisco at Seattle. This is probably, this one and then the Houston, New England ones are probably the biggest coin flips.
Yeah.
Seattle is favored by a full touchdown.
The last time I saw 7.5. And if you see it on Kalshi, they're giving them a 75% chance of winning. More people are betting on them versus the San Francisco 49ers at 25%. So are you going with the rest of America? Or are you with the Seattle Seahawks? Or are you going San Francisco and trying to pull off the upset?
See, it's tough for me because, oh my goodness, I gotta think, like Mike McDonald, clearly a very good coach. But you're going to give Kyle Shanahan a third opportunity to play you. San Francisco should win this game. But, and I know there's been weeks where George Kittle, they haven't needed him at all. Mm-hmm. But he's out and not even an option, and he can't even be a decoy. And you've got other injuries, and you've got all this stuff going on. I'm going with Seattle, but I'm torn. Because Sam Darnold hasn't proved anything yet. He can win in the regular season. Great. Marty Schottenheimer could win in the regular season constantly. He never won a Super Bowl. Justin Herbert wins all the time. Pumpkin in the playoffs. Sam Darnold last year went 14-3, just like this year. And then what happened to Minnesota in the first game they played? Not good. So.
You're not feeling good about it.
I'm not feeling good about it, but I'm going Seattle.
Well, Rob, I
know where you.
This is my little prove it game. I know you got Jalen Hurts as your guy. My guy, when it comes to defending honor, I love me some Brock Purdy, and I think these teams are similarly matched. I know San Francisco has plenty of injuries, but they've had injuries all year long, and they're finding ways to win this game. Kyle Shanahan, I'm a big fan of. I think he's going to come up with an offense that's going to stop that pass rush from being a problem. And when you take away that pass rush, all of a sudden, those lanes in the passing game start opening up. And Brock Purdy can torch you. I know that's hard for people to believe, but he can. He can do it. Give me the San Francisco 49ers. I'm more confident in Brock Purdy pulling off this game than I am with Sam Darnold. San Francisco with the apparently big upset. And I actually saw the spread and I was like, oh, Vegas, you idiots. You're missing this one. And I even put $10 on Kolshi because of a 25% chance. I saw that and went, you know what? I'm in. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'm going for it.
Makes sense. So, it's going to be a coin flip. And I think this is round 3. And I believe they split in the regular season. So this should be fantastic.
It should be a good game. Yeah, very excited one to watch. The next one, Rob, is are we doing anything for this? What are we doing?
There's a tentative hope that we will be live streaming this one. So hopefully you will see us Sunday, coming on Sunday, probably around 1:30 for a pregame, and then doing the live stream just for this game, not for both. Details to be determined. We got to lock a few things in on that. So hopefully we'll be coming together for a live stream for this one, and hopefully we'll have our good friends Stefan, who you all enjoyed hanging out with on Sunday, and then who had some great Texans analysis last week on the pod, and our friend Patrick, who will probably hopefully be rocking that Tony Baselli jersey. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back after you finish listening to us and click on our unboxing episode and watch a fun one. So this one's tough. I'm picking the Patriots. It's the playoffs. They're my team. If I was totally neutral, I think a lot of people, I haven't looked at like the betting markets and stuff. I bet a lot of people are betting on the Texans.
It's 50-50, actually. It's very close. This is a close one. And I think the point spread reflected.
It's in Foxborough. It's going to be cold. The Texans are a dome team. And not only are they a dome team, but they're a dome team that's guaranteed because in their division, they obviously all their home games are in a dome. They go to Indy once a year. That's in a dome. And then their other games are Jacksonville. That's always warm. It might be windy and rainy, but it's warm. And then, oh my God, why am I blanking on the other team in that division?
Colts. You already said Colts?
Yeah, I said the Colts. Dome.
Titans.
Oh, the Titans. That's Nashville. So Nashville is your worst divisional weather that you travel to? Jeez. Granted, CJ Stroud did play at the Ohio State University. Obviously, it's very cold in the horseshoe there. And they got to go to Michigan and all that. But it's been a few years. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
He's not used to that cold weather. So I'm going to hope that because CJ Stroud did not have a good game. He did not win this game at all for the Steelers, for the Texans. The Texans defense won it. I'm going to hope that Drake May's got his sea legs. And the Pats, this is not going to be a 35-31 game. This is going to be like a 20-13 maybe game. This is going to be another low scoring game. Great play to play, not over till it's over. But I think the Pats defense will do just enough to mess with Stroud, and the Pats offense will be able to minimize their mistakes and survive. This is going to be Will Campbell's key to this game. Will Campbell's key to this game. Can he step up and do more than he did? Do more than he did last week. We'll see. It's going to be close. It could go either way. I'm obviously going Pats.
So you're going the Patriots, and Rob, I got bad news for you.
Yeah, you're going Texans.
I am going Texans. I'm going Texans, and the only reason why I'm going to go Texans is I was really sketchy on your offensive line against the Chargers. Now, Will Campbell, maybe it was just a bad game. He can get back up, and he can end up at least neutralizing one of their defensive ends. The problem is they got two. They got two that are just beast out there, and I'm really concerned with that.
McDaniels, we trust.
Yeah, and he is pretty good at. He's not like Arthur Smith. He actually comes up with schemes to help neutralize a pass rush. And Drake May, he cannot do what he did last week, where you have a slow start heading into this game, because they're gonna make you pay, and it could get bad and it can get ugly. The other concern that I have with the New England Patriots is, although CJ Stroud had a terrible, terrible game, he is one of the few weaknesses I've seen on this defense. Not that there's much. This defense is top tier in the league, but running quarterbacks do seem to give you a little bit of a hard time, and he is capable of taking off and running. So
yeah,
he's also accurate. I just don't trust his decision-making and his ability to make a fumble. Relying on CJ Stroud is not the greatest feeling on earth, especially against this defense. But I think if any QB like style could do it, it would be someone like CJ Stroud's, running around like a chicken with his head cut off and finding ways to just get open wide receivers. So I'm going to pick the Houston Texans. I don't feel confident about it. I think you guys have the better offense, clearly. but it's going to be a good game. And like you said, it's going to be real low scoring. You're saying 20-13. I don't be shocked if it's 12-9 in a cold weather game.
Yeah.
The
6-3, 6-5, safety somewhere.
It's
2-0.
rough. And although the cold weather, I know Houston, it very well could be. This is going to be a slugfest. So if you like defense, this is going to be the game to watch because they should wrap this up in real time. 2.5 hours if all goes right with how much defense is going to be out there. But it's going to be a good game. Rooting on the Patriots for the sake of the pod, but I'm going to go with the Texans on this. And
for sure.
So far, that's 3 away teams. So I might be heading into a disaster here. I might be heading into a disaster, but pick it with my gut.
Before we do our picks for the last game, I do have a hot take. The winner of Texans-Patriots wins the AFC.
I think so. And that's part of what I was saying going into it. I think I said it early in the pod that this team very well could make it, not this pod, but previous pods, that this team could very well make it to the Super Bowl, and do not be shocked if the Texans can make it because that defense is something else. We haven't seen anything like this since like the 2001, since the Legion of Boom, that's a good example. Or they really remind me of that 2001, 2002 Ravens where they didn't have an offense.
They destroyed the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Because of that defense. Yeah, and Trent Dilfer, all he had to do is just don't F it up. The problem with them is CJ Stroud does F it up, and he tried to last game. And so
because he knows he has more talent.
Okay, but just hand it off. Short passes. Don't fumble it. Pick it up. Fumble it again. That was really dumb, wasn't it? That
was so
believe
bad.
he did that. What are you doing?
But granted,
you got lucky once. You're not getting lucky twice.
Here's why, besides the pod, you should be rooting for New England. If the Houston Texans win a Super Bowl before your Dallas Cowboys,
I know.
We have two great friends of the pod that will be insufferable, possibly forever.
Probably. I mean, I haven't let go of the 2023 World Series on them. So, yeah, it's going to be bad. I hope I'm right there with you. I don't want the Texans to go far in this thing. I lived in Houston. If you're a Houston fan, you hate the Cowboys, and you like to remind Cowboy fans that you hate them. So I'm not rooting on them for sure.
For sure. All right, that gives us one more game, the nightcap, and that is Rams at Bears.
Rams at Bears. Well, this one I feel confident with, but this is my fourth away team that I'm picking. Mm-hmm. I just don't think the Bears can do what they did against the Packers and get away with it this time. So I think they're going to have another slow start, and the Rams are going to make them pay. They do not have a defensive line. I'm not impressed with that. And if you can't get to Matthew Stafford, he's going to tear you up. He might have that finger injury. It might be cold, but I think Stafford's got it. Nakua, Devontae Adams, Parkinson's now. They're a good squad. They're going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it by a lot. I'm pretty confident on the Rams.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with the Rams. Also with how the league's played out this year, with how the NFC has played out, it would be wrong if the NFC was not decided in an all NFC West battle with Seattle or San Francisco having to play another team for the third time this year. Because I think the three best teams in football are the Seahawks, Niners, and Rams in some order.
Yeah, and I don't even know which one's the best.
Yeah. But right now I would say, and I mentioned this last week, those are my three best teams. Fourth to me is the Patriots. And then one last little aside, and we'll get into this game. It is very, very fitting that the New England Patriots essentially closed down the Buffalo Bills stadium because they won the division this year, taking away and by winning in Buffalo, taking away the ability for a guaranteed home game. And then by the Patriots winning against the Chargers, that guaranteed that the Bills could not host a game in the AFC playoffs. And it's closed.
That's cold. That's cold, but you don't care, do you? You don't
No.
care.
No.
Yeah. So that's what I got. I got all away teams, and sounds like you're pretty similar, except for Seattle and the New England Patriots. We'll see how it plays out. They're all
It
flip
could
'em
easily
games to
it could
me.
easily be all away. It could go either way, and it's interesting. We'll end up seeing, I think, with our picks, pod picks, we're either going to see someone really separate themselves, or we're going to see everyone jumbled up because we're all like all. It's either all or like all or nothing for everyone with how they picked it. I think half of us have the exact picks you have, half of us have like the exact picks I have, and it's me and you having a couple of the same picks is weird. Everyone else is.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll see. It's real fun, and then next round's going to be the 3-point matchups, and that's where it gets weird because now it's about catch up, and you're making weird picks just to see if you can catch up with it. So
Exactly.
a lot of fun.
So yeah, fantastic week. Oh my goodness, so much football. NFL playoffs, best time of the year, especially when the Patriots are doing what they're supposed to be doing and playing deep into January, as is our birthright from a whopping last 25 years only.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's been good. We had a wonderful, wonderful live stream. We're hoping to, and we'll let you know via post. We're hoping to do the Texans Patriots live stream as well. But yeah, it's been good, and we got more good stuff coming.
Yeah, and great place to get content is right here if you want to follow along the playoff run. Nick and Rob's Homer Hour. And Rob, where are some of the places they could find us?
Yeah, we're Nick and Rob Homer Hour pretty much everywhere. We have some like underscores and stuff, so just search Nick and Rob Homer Hour. But follow us on X, please, because there's a lot of fun there. And also when we go live, we're also live on X. So if YouTube annoys you sometimes, you can go live on X instead. In the comments will still pop up, and we'll still be able to talk to you that way. You can also find us. We have an Instagram, Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Help grow that Instagram. That'd be great. And then we are on TikTok, which apparently if you want to have some crazy comments, TikTok's the place to be. That's where Nick does a great job of cutting up a bunch of shorts. He puts them out on our YouTube channel and TikTok every week, and people got opinions there. So if you're on TikTok and you want to give your opinions and you didn't comment them on the YouTube posts, go ahead, get in there on TikTok.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments being made, but we're gonna have a fun division round. Like I said, we'll keep you posted with the live update. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.